Hello all, and welcome to another webinar hosted by Hira Walraven Academy. I don't know if you've been following, but if you have been following our series, today's topic follows what we have presented so far, which was about rail installation systems and corrosion protection systems as well. In this webinar, today's webinar, those two aspects are going to be combined and intertwined because what we're going to discuss today is about how to design effective and reliable outdoor floor and rooftop support systems. So, of course, rail installation systems as well as a proper corrosion protection is of crucial importance. So if you have not visited or if you have not attended our previous webinars, you can always log into or visit our social pages, our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn as well. And then you can see recording of those sessions for your information and maybe to refresh your memory or even to learn something new. And for even more information, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. All right, so about me today, my name is Bruno Santos. I'm a business development manager in Hira Walraven for the UAE region. I have over 7 years of experience in the construction industry. Out of those 7 years, 4 years and more now, I've been working in these specific construction services industries, and I am specialized in anchor and MEP support system design. I am a fixing systems trainer, and my background is in civil and structural engineering. Today, I'm planning a session duration of about 45 minutes, might be shorten a little bit or maybe extend a little bit more, and it's going to be around 45 to 50 minutes. Then I'm planning a Q&A duration of 15 minutes, which of course can be more if necessary. And if people have a lot of questions, let's try to make this engaging. So if you have a lot of questions, just don't mind and post them to me, even if it's for something that I've discussed before, because in here I'm going to just browse a little bit about the topic of corrosion or the rail fixing systems. We're not going to go as deep as I went before. So just in any situation, just give me a question, type it out. So today I'm going to speak about who we are. I'll take a look on the traditional floor and rooftop support. I'll present you the advantages of Diamond Walraven fixing systems and why we should be considered for your installations as well. And then I'll give some application examples and design cases of projects that we've done before and installations that we've done before. So starting out with who we are. So earlier this year, we launched the Hira Walraven Academy, and this is a learning center for our industry that includes webinars like this, seminars, training sessions, on-site coaching, and much more. So I prepared a video to sum it up. I'll play it out for you. So what this is, actually, this is not only a learning center, but also a way for us to teach our clients, our partners, our industry partners, our colleagues as well, on some of the best industry practices on this specific construction business. And this is also for us to try to help you achieve your goals. The video showed a little bit about our engineering services, our design team. This is something that we've been investing a lot in getting the right professionals and the right resources, so we can actually help you achieve your tasks, your goals, so to make it easy for everyone. So this also, the webinars that we've been presenting since the beginning of the year, this is also a way for us to not only to show what we can do, but also to help you in your project. So us, Hira Walraven, we are a successful joint venture between the UAE-based Hira Industries and the Walraven Group based in the Netherlands. And this joint venture was launched in 2015. Specifically, Hira Industries is a company based here, founded in 1980 with sales companies and manufacturing units in multiple locations across the world. Currently, we employ more than 1,100 employees from more than 20 nationalities. And the Walraven Group, this is a company that originated from the metalwork company J. van Walraven BV in 1942, so some time ago. Also with production and sales companies in more than 15 countries in Europe, Asia, and USA, so has a global presence, over 1,000 employees, and this is a very innovative company with more than 60 patents and counting. Specifically about Hira Walraven, we have manufacturing plants in UAE and India. We have sales companies from Africa to East Asia, Middle East, India, Asia. And we are based here in Dubai, in UAE, and we manufacture and supply a complete fixing systems range, solutions from pipe supports to vibration control, passing from seismic devices as well, and much more. We are very concerned about the quality of our items and our practices as well. So we are ISO certified, we are RAL specified, and an MSS member. And we design solutions to meet the most demanding quality standards such as the IBC, UVC, the Dubai Design Code, Seismic Code, etc., as well as FM, UL, VDS, CTA, and RAL. So this is something that's very important for us so that we can assist you in the best way possible and with the right quality, both in design and material. So our solutions for the construction industry, they go from certified installation systems, so clamps, channels, rooftop supports, which I'm going to discuss about today, vibration isolators, seismic control, and high-performance mechanical and chemical anchors. So from a vast range of mechanical anchors for concrete, for wood, for any substrate for masonry as well, and chemical anchors. So depending on the need, depending on the project requirements, depending on actually what we are fixing, we can assist you from design to installation. So that ties with our technical support services. This is how we help you. So we market our materials under the Diamond Walraven brand. We perform anchor design, field testing for those anchors, tailored solutions for any kind of installation that you might require, and seismic design that goes from feasibility studies all the way to actual design and manufacturing of products, and coaching, because this is where actual installation practices, they should be properly followed, and we can help you on the project as well, on field. So we have decades of experience. We've been working in high-rise towers, landmark buildings, transportation networks as well, towers and all kinds of residential and commercial buildings and mixed use, and iconic large developments. So this is our presence in the region and in the world. We've been dealing with a lot of high-profile projects. They've trusted in us. We hope that we can earn your trust as well from now on as well, and we can give you a lot of support. Our company is defined by a set of values as well as our vision and mission, and as we want to be the most preferred brand in the segment, we know that we can only get there by being the most innovative company in this industry. So we want to set the standards, we want to pioneer new and smart products and techniques, and this all derives from our core values. So we think smart as a company, we want to be a game changer, and we set it out in our day-to-day basis. We assume that fair play, it's also crucial for us and for everyone else. We need to respect each other, our competitors, our partners, everyone, because we all want to achieve the same goal. And by doing that, we aim to be transparent as much as we can, with honesty, openness, clear mind. We don't want to hide something that should not be hidden. So this is what guides us as a company. Open communication, that ties also very consistent with the rest of the other values. Accountability, which is our way to be reliable and trustworthy, and our commitment to you, and always to challenge ourselves and our clients and our partners and everything. We want to leave this kind of mark in this market, in the region, in the world. All right, so now I'll take a look on the traditional floor, so conventional floor and rooftop supports, the way that's still most commonly seen. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and why this is not anymore the optimum solution, and there are much better ways to fix anything. And I'll give you some examples of why. But before, I'm going to talk a little bit about today's topic. So if you're talking about roofs, roofs can be flat, they can be low pitched, or they can be inclined. And this selection defines what can be installed on the rooftop. Of course, if we are talking about a very inclined roof, it's going to be hard to install. So usually that's not the case. For this region in particular, and for industrial installations, what's more common is flat or low pitch. Even a flat roof can have an inclination usually up to 15%, and this is to facilitate the drainage of water. And we can say that the roof is low pitched if it has an inclination of up to 33%. So today we're going to talk about installation of rooftops, and we're going to focus on the flat and the low pitch ones because that's where you can see most of the installations. Now, a typical flat roof is built with several layers, and each one has a specific function. So you can see that there's always a vapor control layer, there's always an appropriate thermal insulation, an overlay board, membranes as well, and below everything you have the ceilings and the roof decking. So this is what comprises a typical flat roof. Of course, then a flat roof can be classified in different construction types, and that depends on where the thermal insulation is placed. And I'll give you some examples. For instance, a deck roof, or also can be named as a warm flat roof. This is where all the insulation is above the joists or deck, and this make it part of the warm fabric of the building. So the insulation is immediately below the waterproofing layer, and the vapor control layer is above the decking but below the insulation. Now, this insulation can be adhered, mechanically fixed, or loose laid, and this makes this a warm insulation. An inverted deck roof, which is also something common, and there's something that's becoming also very, very seen. It's where we just place the insulation above the waterproofing and the vapor control layer. So that means that insulation needs to be highly resistant to water absorption, and any rainwater will drain from the roof surface as well as passing through the gaps in the insulation layer. So you need to account for that. You need to have proper drainage. And this is a similar construction to the warm roof because the insulation above the deck ensures that the structure of the building is warm. Opposed to that, we have ventilated roofs or cold flat roofs. And this is where the insulation is between and below the roof joists. Usually you will see this more in refurbishment, where you are refurbishing an existing timber joisted flat roof, which has no insulation. So this allows for the insulation to be added without having to replace the waterproofing on the existing roof. Although this is not as used as before, depending on the country, depending on the region, and also depending on the construction, a lot of things, because you need to account for for air gaps. Otherwise, you'll have condensation problems. So this is not as common as the previous one. Then you have also the green roofs where you have vegetation that's planted above. So some things are not as common as the normal flat roofs, inverted and normal deck. But what's common between all of them is that it's very important to avoid drilling and even high point loads, so you do not damage the insulation and or the waterproofing or the vapor barrier layers. If you do that, you'll have a lot of water infiltration problems. You have higher coolings and heating costs as well, and of course condensation issues. So what the traditional methods of installation sometimes do not take this into account, and over time they might damage the roof, and then it will lead to several other issues. So nowadays our buildings require a network of supporting systems because this is what actually gives life to a building. It's not the structure, not the concrete, not the steel. It's actually the mechanical, the plumbing, the water, the firefighting, the security services. This is what gives life to a building. And with the advancements in this kind of technologies, we need to install more and more things in our buildings. And each mechanical installation poses a particular challenge, especially when they're installed on the roof. So they demand corrosion resistant systems that are capable of bearing any type of load, safe installation of the various components of electrical, plumbing, HVAC, firefighting systems, high service life, and ease of maintenance, future expansions or modifications. So corrosion, as we see here, since we're talking about outdoor placed installations and systems as well, this is one of the crucial points that sometimes is neglected. And if not properly considered, of course, it will impact greatly the service life of fixing systems. So corrosion can be put as the destructive and unintentional degradation of material caused by its environment, which is a galvanic process and by which metals deteriorate through oxidation. This is a redox reaction. This is also a natural tendency to convert refined metals to a more stable forms, such as its oxide, hydroxide, or sulfide state. And corrosion can also happen when metals are placed under high stress that causes the material to crack. So part of what constitutes a well-designed support system is the corrosion protection. In Hira Walraven, this is something that we take very seriously, and we actually developed a lot of systems to fight this natural phenomenon, to avoid issues later on, and to avoid high costs of maintenance, high replacement costs, etc., all of these things. So the corrosivity can be also classified when talking about zinc, can be classified from C1 to C5 and above that for more extreme zones and areas. So this ties with C1 as very low, C5 as very high. Usually what we see here and what we see for outdoor installation, especially around this region, is C3 and C4, sometimes mixed, sometimes on the same building, sometimes just one, which is, especially for outdoor, we're talking about urban and industrial atmospheres. We're talking about coastal areas with low salinity and without saltwater spray, or exposure to strong effect of de-icing salts, which is not the case here. And of course, some effect of chlorides and a little bit of pollution as well. So sometimes depending on where the building is placed and where the installation is placed, we can have more or less pollution, can have more or less effect of industrial residue in the air, and this will affect and it will impact greatly the corrosion later on. So the traditional methods that I've been speaking a little bit so far, we can see they are still widely used. Now, my question to you is this an efficient approach? What do you think? Do you think this is still an efficient approach? Do you move on from your designs nowadays? Do you still consider it because it's easy to be supplied? Anyway, regardless of that, it's not an efficient approach. And when I talk about traditional, we are talking about I-beams, U-profiles, L-angle bars, this kind of steel sections. And those, when compared to the modular systems, often take, and this is clearly the majority of the time, take around 2 to 4 times more to install, and they generally consume more resources. For example, if you wanted to build a frame as these two, or as this depicted example, you can see clearly that you'll need a considerable, you'll need to spend a lot of time welding, then doing all the surface preparation, drilling as well. Usually these elements are heavier, so you need to connect them, and you need appropriate equipment and safety practices and all other associated costs. So this is why it takes 2 to 4 times. Usually you take a lot of time just to prepare a frame like this, instead of, it doesn't matter if it's prefabricated in the factory floor or if you do it on site, but it takes a lot of time. So we can say that the conventional systems are labor intensive because you need to do beam cutting with heavy tools or torches. Then you need to do the following slag removal, grinding, and extra finishing work. You need to do surface preparation before welding. You need to do the proper welding and drilling. You need to grind. You need to repaint or galvanize. And because they are heavier, it requires more resources to fix in place. And of course, this comes with the benefit that these kind of systems, they are very mechanically sturdy and they are very permanent. But the thing is, the drawbacks, that the time lost on the job, the welding that you need, the lack of flexibility, it brings you more drawbacks than the gains that you might gain with a system that's okay, that's more mechanically sturdy or that's mechanically sturdy as well. It's very resistant to load, but it comes at a cost, and this cost is not efficient. It makes you lose more on your investment. So the ROI on this kind of systems is not very interesting, especially nowadays that you have other solutions. Then, of course, since we're talking about installations that are placed outdoor, they are constantly exposed to aggressive environmental conditions. So you'll need more maintenance. You'll need more repainting every so often. And then you have this kind of issues. Then you have performance issues. You'll have more maintenance costs. You'll have more equipment downtime, and then you have more asset depreciation and loss of material integrity over time. So clearly, because you gain something on the mechanical stability, if you design with other systems, you will get exactly the same. But one might be inclined to think that, okay, you have a lot of mechanical stability, so this is an approach because of that. Still, you lose a lot of benefits. Still, considering that. And that was only for the actual frame, because if you're going to talk about rooftops, you can either go with drilling directly on the rooftop surface, or you'll need to fix them, the frames and the girders and everything, on top of concrete bases. So if you talk about concrete bases, usually these concrete blocks, they might weigh between 20 to 50 kg. So it's quite heavy to move around, to fix in place, to set properly where you want to fix them. So you'll need either better safety practices to install those, or you need lifting equipment, anything such as that. And overall, you increase the pressure on the roof, and you increase also the weight of construction. Plus, over time, the water penetrates these cracks or the cracks in the rooftop itself. So you'll have infiltration, have all these issues. And you have sharp edges, which often break during the drilling. So as you can see, more examples. These concrete bases, they are very difficult to transport. They damage the roofs and they require more resources. Another example that you can even see here on these pictures, to fix the metal work or the metal works to these things, to these bases, you'll also need to install anchors. And to install a proper anchor, you need also for a proper procedure. So it takes quite more some time to use these kind of solutions, and over time it damages and impacts greatly on your ROI. So overall, you lose more time on the job. You might need welding for the frames, which pose greater fire hazards. It requires specific health, safety, environment conditions and technical certifications. Plus, of course, quality inspections. They take some time to do, and they need to be done to all the weld. You'll have a lot of lack of flexibility for future adaptations, expansion or modification. So as a building is usually evolving as well as our society, we tend to install more or different or new technologies arise, maybe a chiller that's smaller but more efficient, so you might need to change the installation again. So if you go back, you need to do all this work again. It's not convenient. It leads to a higher cost in manpower, material and energy. Then it requires anchors, I was saying, to fix installation to the bases. So more time, material and manpower needed. And you might need cranes and other lifting equipment, which are considerably costly. So using these types of steel sections carries some benefits, but it's very obvious that it's not sufficient to overcome the advantages. So what is a better way to do this? This is what we aim to do today, and let's go and talk about it. So the advantages of our Diamond Walraven fixing systems. So we offer highly engineered support solutions for all rooftop installations, and we're talking about design, fabricate, and supply solutions for all types of installations, from equipment support, high load support, service decks and stairs, step overs, walkways, to pipe, duct, and cable tray support. So we do all of this, we design all of this. We have specific solutions for all of these installations, as you can see on the right, and I'm going to speak about all of them. This video basically is going to sum up everything that that I'm going to talk about, then I'm going to be more into detail. But this video, I'm going to show you basically what we do for this, so for these installations. So now imagine, or now think about what would be to do all of that that you've now seen in the traditional way with girders, with I-beams, with L angles, and do all the drilling. Then you need to adjust, and then you need to go back and do another drilling. All of these things. Can you see why I'm talking that it takes 2 to 4 times more, and how you lose a lot of money and a lot of resources doing that? So this is where we want to help. And this is why we've developed all of these solutions, so it can make your life easier. So we have solutions for all load applications and environmental exposure. From the channels, we have the rapid rail for light duty applications, rapid strut for medium to heavy duty, then as a range of heavy rails for heavy duty and industrial applications, and of course all the range of pipe supports as sliding devices, fixed points, etc. that it's necessary to fix pipes, ducts, and equipments in place. And then the way to transmit the load of these installations to the building, and the rooftop supports to do that. So to start with our channels, So our rapid rate for light to medium duties, this is a C-profile channel with continuous perforation that enables hanging on both sides. And we supply them, we design them, we manufacture them in size 27, 18, 1.2. So this is for light applications, light pipe, light ducts, this kind of work. To make your installation faster, we offer you the possibility to have this with no loose parts, so everything is pre-assembled. So you just need to fix them in place. And everything comes with a complete range of rail and accessories that was thought of to speed up the process. So typical uses of this rapid rail include not only pipe work in roof supports, but also ducting and plumbing applications and sanitary applications as well, as you can see here on these pictures. For medium to heavy loads, for medium duty to heavy duty loads, our rapid strut has also a C-profile channel and the C-profile range of channels, also with continuous perforation and also with a unique hole pattern that allows quick mounting of accessories on both sides of the rail. So the difference between this and the other is actually the size. So this we offer in size 4121 and 1.5, all the way to 4182 double 2.5. So depending on what the project needs and what are the expected loads, we can we select and we help you select the right channel profile, and then we do in partnership with you, or if necessary just from our side, and then your review. So depending on what's necessary or what's more convenient, we support on all of that, and we can do this proper study. And then with this system, we guarantee that you can save up to 50% of the installation, even when compared to standard strut fixing, because our system and our accessories, our range interlinks between each other in a more efficient way than you can see in standard strut and of course, let alone the normal traditional systems. Also, they come with ready-to-use pre-assembled accessories. They are suitable for all strut profiles. We have also rail and cantilever arms with serrated profile for extra grip, 4121 all the way to 4182 double, and what I've sold before. So rapid strut application includes supporting demanding loads. They are typical of multi-service piping. As you can see here, for example, you have multiple copper pipes and ducts all supported from the same channel. This is a way to fix. So instead of fixing point by point, this is a way to fix. And this system is actually prepared to do that and to make your life easier. To also assist on all the range, we offer a vast range of cantilever props and connectors for easy frame building. So rail props, wall plates, beam clamps, the end caps, and a set of connectors, double connectors, 90-degree connectors, depending on what's necessary to build a frame. This will speed up your installation process big time. Our heavy-duty rail Max, they are specifically designed or specifically developed for load-bearing frames. This is a lightweight closed steel profile, coming continuous perforation on all sides. Comes in AGG as a standard. We offer two sizes, 100 by 100 and 100 by 120. So depending on the load and on the requirements, we design the most appropriate one. And because this is the drilled on four sides, you can connect on four sides as well. So it's quite easy and quite straightforward to build frames that can act for a multitude of applications, including secondary steel supports, for instance. As before, it's very easy to build frames with the Max. It's a connection between elements in just 3 steps, inserting the hammer fix, as you can see the picture on the right, turn a quarter stroke, and then tight. And that's it. That's how you do. Instead of pre-drill, instead of drilling, instead of welding, instead of everything, all the process that you have to do with other kind of heavy systems or heavy load systems or traditional I-beams, for instance, that you'd have to do the welding and drilling in place and all of those needed works. With our Max system, it's much easier. I've just done a webinar on this, so you can, if you remember what I've talked about, I've went a little bit more in depth on this topic. You can always revisit our page and then take a look at that to refresh your memory. But these are the key points to take. This is a very sturdy, lightweight system, very easy to use, very easy to maneuver, very easy to fix in place. One of the examples it can be used is as secondary frame structures to support heavy piping or equipment. Here, the picture, you can see that it was acting. We installed this and we designed this to work as a secondary steel structure to support firefighting, cable trays, heavy ducting equipment, all of that from a main steel structure from a building. So on the corrosion protection topic, since we're talking about exposed installations, our steel products are protected by a range of zinc coatings. So depending on the conditions of the site or conditions of the installation or whatever requirements are necessary, we go in, we select the appropriate zinc coating that we apply to the steel. So on slotted channels, mainly by standard, we apply continuous galvanizing, which is we apply zinc to a steel sheet that's drawn continuously through a bath of molten zinc. Because of that, we can apply a specific uniform thickness, and this typical thickness is about 20 to 30 microns. And if the project requires more resistant to corrosion, we can always go with the suggestion of HDG or thicker coatings in general that can be applied to increase the corrosion resistant performance. And hot dip galvanizing, we apply zinc to steel by immersing it in a zinc bath, usually at around 450 degrees. We apply a thick zinc layer, and this is applied to the entire finished product. And with this, the typical coating thickness is 35 to 100 microns. So it's more thick, so it will last longer during when exposed to aggressive conditions. So it's commonly considered on elements designed for outdoor applications. But we do not stop there. We've developed a specific surface protection treatment that we call Ultra Protect, so BUP, which stands for Better Installation Systems Ultra Protect 1000. And this is an innovative surface treatment. This is designed for corrosive environments up to C4 class. It's applied to an extensive fixing systems for indoor and outdoor uses without an issue. It comes with a smooth uniform finish, so even if you are exposing an installation from an aesthetics point of view, it's also something to consider. It doesn't need to be hidden. It looks well, looks nice. And it's designed to effortlessly withstand a salt spray test of 1,000 hours. So this is actually the key point. And the relevance of this salt spray test, this is something that you can immediately see. First of all, since we're talking about C4 class, this is specifically for high corrosion levels. So we're talking about either indoor with high frequency of condensation and pollution from production processes, or temperate zones with some atmospheric pollution from industrial processes, or coastal areas without saltwater spray. So this is where usually you see HDG or even stainless steel, depending on the installation. But this is where you see this kind of corrosion protection systems, and we offer an alternative that actually outperforms HDG. So depending on the type of project and depending on what's needed and what's the concern, we go with what's the most applicable solution. And keep in mind that BUP actually it's something much better than HDG. I'll show you why. So it offers, so the 1,000-hour system, 1,000-hour salt spray I was talking about before. This is so you place the elements in a chamber, then you keep on spraying salt water, and then it accelerates the corrosion effect on the surface of steel. And usually you think about HDG as something that's very sturdy or very resistant to corrosion. And with this test, you can see when compared to our BUP, it actually lasts about half of what we offer. So we offer not only the normal pre-galvanized, electro-galvanized, all of this, and HDG, but also we offer something else that's way above what you can see. And this is something that it's with us. It's innovative, and it's a much better solution that you can see out there without the need of going to stainless steel for C4 zones. Plus, since this is a very passive treatment, you can combine with other zinc-plated electro-galvanized, pre-galvanized, or hot dip galvanized elements if necessary. So the main frame could be supported as this, and then some key points, or maybe the equipment comes with HDG as a fixing point, something without any issue, and there's no problem of galvanic corrosion in contact with our system. So if we compare here our BUP with a range of zinc-plated, electrogalvanized, hot-dip galvanized, and even stainless steel applied surfaces, you can see that the performance after 600 hours, it's much better than anything else. Even stainless steel might develop some corrosion depending on the grade of stainless steel and depending on the several things, but it might show. So this is actually a very interesting alternative to what you would consider as a high corrosion protection in HDG and even stainless steel, depending on the zone. So this system includes clamps, rails, rooftop support, and accessories. And since we have a high level of confidence in this solution, we outright give you a 20-year warranty on the products, with the lifespan being usually much higher than that. But we immediately give this without any issues. So this is also for your peace of mind, your safety of mind, that you can use an entire system of supporting frame to support your pipework, your ductwork, your equipments on outdoor installations such as rooftops, without a concern of will this be corroded in a short year span, will this develop any issues, will I have to change all of this, will I have to repaint. That is entirely removed with our solution. So this is where we can make your life easier. So on the rooftop support, so I'm going to talk now a little bit more specifically about them. So we place them in two major families, which are our BIS Yeti, which comprise of the Yeti 130, the Yeti 335, and the Yeti 480, and our BIS Ursus, which are our fit, let's say, Ursus, that comes in three major sizes, 250, 400, and 600. So Yeti 130, this is a flexible and reliant foundation for light strut-based installations, and also it comes with a non-slip and anti-vibration mat that prevents damage to the roof membrane. The 335 is part of the Yeti 480 family, but it is a smaller family member. It's designed to support installations on flat roofs, and this is for light to medium loads as well. And then you have the Yeti 480, which is the most flexible product that we have, in that you can use them for flat, or you can use them for a low pitch roof or other surfaces up to 7 degrees. And this can carry an immense amount of load. If necessary, if there's a concern of movement due to let's say to wind pressure or anything else, those can be equipped as well with concrete ballast to increase the weight. I've shown a picture before, then I'll show you again, to give more weight on the support. So the 480, this is a modular supporting system for climate insulation, walkways, solar panels, or pipework. It's UV and chemical resistant. Presents a noise reduction of up to 31 decibel, and is part of our BUP 1000 system. Then this is what I was saying before. It's adjustable up to 7 degrees to compensate roof pitch. So roof pitch or any surface that is pitched by up to 7 degrees, and if the installation calls for you need an adjustment on the inclination of the frame, or you already need to design that, you can easily do that with this. This would not be possible with the concrete block, as I shown before. So this is something that you can gain, and it gives you more flexibility on the design and on your creativity for the installations itself. Then the insert, the yellow insert, is also 360 degrees rotatable, so you can place the channel on a direction on that's more convenient. And the load capacity, we're talking about 20,000 Newton or 30,000 Newton. So 2,000, 2,000 ton. So this is something very considerable for the heaviest of equipment. It's not a problem with this kind of solution. Plus it resists to some bending moment as well. The 335, it's also a modular supporting system, also UV and chemical resistant. Also presents a noise reduction of up to 31 decibel because it has a non-slip anti-vibration, and the actual reduction of this rubber performs a reduction of noise up to 31 decibel. And this one is not possible to install on pitched roofs, so only on flat one, but still the insert is also 360 rotatable, so to place the channel in which direction is more convenient. and it also resists considerable loads as well. So the same 20,000, 30,000 Newton. The Yeti 130, as before, it's also UV chemical resistant, noise reduction, and the modular supporting system, but this is for lighter loads. So loads up to 2,500 Newton. This is where you use. The difference between this and the other one is that it has a unique click mechanism. So you attach the channel with the holes, you connect them, and then you can just click, and that's it. That's installed. So it's quicker in that way, although it's only for light loads. Then you have the Ursus, which is for linear installation of flat surfaces. It's made out of vulcanized rubber, also UV and chemical resistant, also has some noise reduction. And this is for light loads as well, up to 30,000 Newton. So the bases itself, they are non-penetrative and high load resistant, and they are designed to reduce noise and slippage. You've seen on the video I'm showing here on these two pictures, it's anti-vibration and non-slip anti-vibration mat. And we tested this extensively to actually know and to know in a proper way and in a consistent way what actual properties we have with this solution. So one of the tests we've done is the noise reduction. We've done it according to ISO 10140. We've tested with several loads and roof types. You can see, depending, we place them directly on the floor, placing it directly on insulation. So depending on the roof type and the load, we've done several tests. This was actually made on a very prestigious lab in Germany. And in average, the noise reduction was by 30 decibel to a peak of 31. So, but in average, it reduces this. So it's something to consider if you're thinking about that the chillers might cause a lot of noise, or the equipment might cause a lot of noise, and that you need to transmit it to immediately below. This completely solves that issue for you. Something very important, and especially if you're considering about wind, and there are some concerns sometimes, will this fly over with the wind? It will not. First of all, the way that we manufactured this and the friction that we achieved, it's above 0.75. And we also tested with several loads and surface types, and it prevents slippage even when subject to considerable wind gusts. As well as this, of course, you have to consider the weight of the installation itself. It will not fly over, which is something that you might consider that would be interesting to fix to the roof, but you don't need that to do that. This takes care of that situation as well. Then our load testing to achieve those. We verified the load bearing up to 30 kilonewton and resistant to winding moments up to 200 Newton meter that I've shown before. And we also placed this test vertical load and also non-vertical load depending on the inclination of the roof pitch. We could see that this can carry a lot of load for those kind of installations to completely clear our mind of issues that might arise from heavy installations. So to sum it up, the advantage of using our Diamond Walraven Rooftop Support, it's huge. So you don't need any drilling. It's recyclable. Plus, the materials itself are made from recycled materials as well. It's the load distribution is optimized with the system itself and, of course, with the design. It saves a lot of time and money because it's an easy to use, easy to connect modular support system, including those bases as well. You have a non-slip anti-vibration mat, which is tested and verified. So, where our services come, because I've just shown you the materials, but of course, we don't just sell you the material and that's it. We actually place a lot of emphasis in our technical support services, and our engineering is done the right way. So we do finite element analysis on the frames that we build. We check the design feasibility, we test the section stress, we check the moments, the reactions, the displacements, and we check the connections between the frame elements. So we do this, we select the appropriate frame, then we move on to the rest of the system, and this is our something that we help you with. Of course, you could do this, your technical team could do this as well, but we can help you in a much faster and efficient way because we are trained in this kind of design. And we verify it to you. And after we find the right solution, we use 3D software to design it and integrate with the project BIM models. We ensure by that the design is done for an optimal load distribution, which will make the most effective use of the support system for a prolonged service life and minimal waste. So at Hira Walraven, the service does not end after you have purchased our products. We pride ourselves in our after-sales support and our technical advice. And based on your individual requirements, we do, of course, the designs, and then we give you a comprehensive proposal. We include detailed calculations, drawings, and part lists, all to make your life easier. And when we are designing these kind of systems, we go always for the optimal load distribution with the right amount of support and the right amount of frames, the right selection. And we consider any kind of roof pitch, roof insulation, roof area. We are very experienced on this. We can help you a lot. So the next session, I'll show you some examples of where we applied all the principles I've talked so far, give you some examples, a design case, so you have an idea of what you've done in the past and how we can actually help you with all the products and all the services I've shown so far. This, for instance, this was a rooftop installation project that was to support very heavy pipe work. And the solution itself had to take into account several factors. It had to be suitable for outdoor use. So you have to select part of our system for outdoor solutions. If you're talking about very heavy piping, then of course one solution is much more viable than anything else, which will be our heavy duty rail profiles. You can see our max profiles. Then this will need to take into account the thermal expansion of the pipe work and allow for a non-penetrative roof design. So all of these things combined, plus there was an issue of spacing as well, but all of these things combined called for our heavy-duty rail system, our Yeti system, to be able to place all of this and to go and to comply with the project requirements. So our technical support team provide a lot of drawings, provide a lot of calculations, and do a combination of Walraven installation systems, and then we showed how to do it on site to the teams of the installer, the contractor, and we did a full-on coaching of the installation process throughout the installation period of this system. So we did a combination between max, expansion devices, and Yeti support bases that comply with the project requirements, and this was the result. So we built a frame with our max system, then we use several other BUP systems to connect to our support systems as well. So to have, you can see on the left picture, you can see the max, then you can see some rail props, you can see some bases as well to connect to the other elements. You can even see the channel that was going to be connected to the max, to the Yeti support base. All of that with our extensive range to find the best solution for this situation. But of course, we have more situations, high load capacity equipments, for instance. With our optimal load distribution, this is an easy installation of even the heaviest of equipments. This depicted on the left and on the right, this was for an airport rooftop. So huge equipments, very high loads, which through a combination of our rail strut and our max profiles and our Yeti support bases was possible. And this is something that we have quite the experience to support you. On other types of installations, do a lot of combination of several channel systems. For instance, you see here depicted max. You see normal channels. You see smaller channels. You see our Yeti that I just spoken about to support ducting equipment altogether, to do service techs as well. This is where we can give you the right tools for you to do your job. And of course, if I talk about extensive piping in rooftops, with our systems, we can save you a lot of time, and we can save you a lot of money on that as well. So in here, this situation in these installations, you can see piping, all types of piping, types of insulated ducts and non-insulated, and this is part of what we can offer to you as a as a supplier, as an advisor, as a coaching company as well. This is where we can help you with this kind of installations. Just contact us if you are facing some difficulties, or if you are now in need to install on rooftop, and ask us how we can help you. Designing step overs, as I said before, service decks, other frame structure is also much easier when you use our rooftop supports range. On the left, you can see on the larger picture, we did the complete stairway and service deck. We also design multi-service, so cable trays can be fixed in the same support as the service deck and the equipment deck as well. So it's just a way of finding the best solution for your installation. In this situation, electrical services can easily be supported with Yeti and Ursus as well. You can see on the left being supported on Ursus, on the right being supported on Yeti. So it's all a question of finding the best solution for your requirement. This is how we can help you doing all of this kind of work, doing these proposals, these drawings. Then we can guide you and we can help you on the documentation process as well to get approved. And the best way to install this, and with us, with our system, you'll save a lot of your resources. More examples on heavy equipment and ducts in outdoor environment. Equipment and ducts supported with our MAX system. Exposed outdoors, of course. And some more examples of rooftop equipment with multi-system compatibility. On the left, you see channels on top of our Ursus foot. On the right, you'll see our MAX profile, double channels even, and other types of channels supported on Yeti. So depending on the load, depending on the requirement, depending on the area even, we do the best solution for you. So all of that, since we're talking about something that's going to be exposed 100% of the time to the environment conditions, consider also some good installation practices to minimize this risk. So design the system in a way that there is no possibility of water or waste, organic or otherwise, to stagnate around the metal products. Use our Yeti or Ursus to lift the system. Make sure that water runs out freely. So do place the parts at an angle of at least 2 degrees so the water runs. Avoid cutting elements unless you use elements that have self-repairing properties, which is the case of one of our fixing rails, our DS5. But usually try to avoid that. So do all of this in a factory shop and prepare the lengths and everything that you need instead of cutting them, because usually it damages the surfaces. And to avoid water or dirt inside the rail, use always rail end caps to finish up the installation. Thank you all. I think we have some questions, so let me take a look at those. All right, so RAL stands for, this is the Institute of, how do I put it? This is verified by the German Institute of Quality, and this is something that we are a founding member of right processes, right procedures, and right designing standards for this kind of pipe support, this kind of equipment support, this kind of MEP installations. And this is something that we see us and some other, of course, known brands and suppliers in the market, we combine to create systems in a common way that are safe for the public, safe for installations, and safe for use of with all of this that I've shown today. Can you connect and give loads in 8-meter span? Yes, this is. I can give you an example. Better yet, let me take a look. If I go here, sorry, because I talked before about max. So basically, our channels come by standard in 6-meter length. So whenever it's necessary to go above that, okay, it's all the way, I guess here. Okay, so whenever it's necessary to do an extension on the length, we have connectors that are designed as well, and that we verify this kind of connection. You can see here on the right picture, you can see that you'll see the elements of connection there, because this span itself on this situation was 9 meter in the lengthiest span of between beams, between girders. So this is something that it's common, and this is where we apply this. If you're talking about rooftops, since we are going to place element by element on its support base, in that case, you don't have to connect like that. You can just connect and spread out the load with the support bases. Okay, so what can we do to limit wind effect for rooftop applications? First of all, it's going to be a question of load, the actual wind load that we need to verify when we are designing this kind of product. It depends also if it's going to be a hurricane zone or not. In this case, it's not that problematic, let's say. But to limit wind effect, first of all, our bases are non-slip already. Then you'll have the weight of the installation itself. That also makes it harder for it to just fly away. And if really necessary, you can apply ballast to the base itself. Let me see here. If you see here on the picture on the top, you'll see ballasts over there. 1 second, I think I have. Yeah, you see here, this ballast here. This is to give an extra weight to the support base, so it gives another resistance to the wind. Can rooftop support slick seismic and wind loads? Yes, this is actually the case. Depending on the load, of course. This is going to be something that's going to be taken into effect point by point, case by case, depending on the area, depending on the projected wind load. But yes, they can. This is part of our study and our engineering feasibility designs. This presentation will be uploaded, or this recording will be uploaded to our social pages, our YouTube channel. So be sure to stop by and take a look at that again if you need to refresh your memory on this presentation. And for more information, just contact me, and I'll get in touch with you, and then we can even arrange something more specific in case you need more clarification. Does anyone have more questions? All right, I think there's no more questions. In any case, if you remember something, or if you think about something later on, just give me a call if you're in the region, or drop me an email, either at bruno.s@Hira Walraven or academy@Hira Walraven. I'll take a look in both, and I'll give you your answers if necessary. Thank you all for coming. I see we had an audience around the region and around the world, so it was very pleasant to have you all. The next webinar we're going to do, it's going to be in a couple of weeks, and we're going to do a webinar on seismic devices and vibration control. Just stay tuned for the invitation. We'll post as usual in our social media pages. Just stay tuned at that. Then we hope to see you again.